Hey, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Yashimai from the GMS Atlantic Camp. And before I get into this message, I want to start out by giving all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Krakatash. And I want to send double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who will and teach well, who are who are the vessels that the Most High is using to feed the sheep and to wake our people up. And now when I say our people, Um, I'm talking about the actual 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, natives, and Hispanics. This is going to be a short message, and the message is going to be going into hell. Now, you know, whether you come from a Christian background, a Catholic background, or any kind of background from the Bible, really, even if you don't read the Bible, everyone has this belief in hell, right? Even, uh, people know about hell, right? And so hell is just something that we're told that is supposed to be eternal burning, but nowhere in scripture do you find eternal burning mentioned. Now, I think I've done several messages on this topic, but just to reiterate the point here, hell, the hell doctrine comes from Dante's Inferno. In fact, let's go ahead and get that. Um, Dante's Inferno, Dante's Inferno. Let's see what it is. Okay, so again, so Dante's Inferno is the first part of this writer Dante Alighieri's The Inferno describes the journey of a fictionalized version of Dante himself through hell, guided by the ancient Roman poet Virgil. So we get hell from this doctrine here, uh, uh, um, this doctrine of hell. Virgil proceeds to guide Dante through the nine circles of hell. The circles are concentric, representing a gradual increase in wickedness. So basically, it's saying that there are different levels of hell. So, the thieves go to one level of hell, and then murderers go to a different level of hell. I mean, but that's not what the Bible teaches. Sin is sin, right? The sinners of each circle are punished for eternity. Check this one here. For example, later in the poem, right here, for example, later in the poem, Dante and Virgil encounter fortune tellers who must walk forward with their heads on backward because they try to see the future through forbidden means. So it's just dumb shit like this. And like anybody with any kind of critical thinking skill would read this and be like, this is stupid. But in reality, this stupidity is what Esau Edom and the world tells us. Okay, now the one really good way to debunk and to get people's brains thinking is by posing a question. So, first and foremost, let's get the blue letter here. Get the blue letter. Let's get hell, and we're first gonna find the word hell, 3222, and the word hell here, hell is Sheol, and Sheol means the underworld, the grave, hell, or a pit. Okay, place of no return. And again, though these definitions, point towards hell, you have to also, kind of pick the truth from pick what we know to be the truth from what isn't, you know. But the basic meaning here is that it's the grave, it's hell, or it's a pit. Okay, now let's get some scriptures here and let's see if this is talking about eternal burning. So this is Tobit, and this is in the Apocrypha. Let's start at verse 1, Tobit 13:1. Then Tobit wrote a prayer rejoicing and said, Blessed be the Most High that liveth forever, and blessed be his kingdom. For he does scourge and has mercy. He leads down to hell and brings up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. So what's it talking about here? You know, is the Most High actually bringing you down? It says, leading you. Is the Most High leading you to eternal burning and then bringing you back up? That doesn't fit the narrative, does it? Because supposedly hell is where this, a fallen angel is. So does God get to go into hell and then come out like that? That doesn't fit the narrative of being enemies with the devil. So, hell here isn't talking about the burning hell. Hell is a state of being also. Many brothers go through hell when they're at work. When you go through a very, very difficult time, it's a very common expression for somebody to say, man, I'm going through hell right now, or life is hell right now, or, this class is hell right now, so hell is not only the pit and the grave, but it's a low state. And so what this verse here is talking about, it's not talking about the Most High bringing you down to hell. It's talking about he brings you to a low state and then brings you back up. When bringing us the good example of bringing people down to a low state is exactly what he did to the 12 tribes of Israel. Jeremiah 17:4. Thou shalt discontinue from thine heritage, right? That's the scourging. So the question to pose here that should get people's brains going is, how can this be talking about hell if is God going to lead you to hell and then take you back up? The answer is no. Let's get another example of when hell is brought up. And we're going to go into the Old Testament. Now, we all know the story about Jonah. Jonah gets swallowed up by the fish when he's told to go to Nineveh, and then he runs the exact opposite way. And so this is Jonah in the fish, okay? We all know Jonah did not go to hell. So this is Jonah 2. In verse 1, it says, Then Jonah prayed unto the Most High his power out of the fish's belly. So right here it's telling you where he's at, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and he heard me out of the belly of hell, cried I, and thou heard my voice. So what's Jonah talking about? Jonah's not talking about he cried out when he was in hell. No, because the first verse tells us where he's at, in the fish's belly. He was about to die. He was in a low state, you know? So hell, here we see hell being talked about as a state of being, right? So let's pose the question again to get the brains of these people thinking, was Jonah in hell when he cried out? No. So then, is hell real then? The answer is hell, the Dante's Inferno hell of eternal fire is not real, you know? I mean, if the Most High is a fair judge, right? He's the judge, right? Would you give somebody eternal burning in hell for, let's say somebody died at the age of 10 and they were just, a gangbanger. Would would the punishment fit the crime? Should somebody burn in eternity for 10 years of a life that they lived? What about 30 years? What about 17 years? The punishment doesn't fit the crime, man, because our lives are but a speck in time, man. So, just like you wouldn't sentence somebody that steals a piece of candy in the same way that you would sentence a murderer, the crime doesn't fit the punishment, man. You don't burn in eternity for 20 years of living like a demon. That's not what happens. And then of course we'll get Isaiah 14, which is a very it's a heavy it's a very mm, it breaks down a lot of strongholds here, because this is the chapter where people say, what the Catholic and the Christian Church tells us that this is where Lucifer, the fallen angel, fell from heaven. But when you read at the top, it's talking about a king. Okay, verse 4: Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, How has the oppressor ceased? So this here, that just lays the foundation. So it's talking about a man. Okay, but let's stick to the subject of hell and let's see how hell is brought up. Okay, it says, he, 13 and 14 is going into the pride of the king of Babylon, which we just read about in verse 4. It says, Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Okay? So what is hell here? Okay? Let's get the let's get the answer in verse 16. So a man is going to be brought down to hell. Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and that did shake kingdoms? So how can you be in hell, but people are going to look at you and ask questions? You know, that's because again, hell here is going into a low state of being, man. All right. So, that's just three precepts, you know, and hopefully this short lesson has been edifying. A lot of kids, you know, I can make it longer, but if you look at my videos, you'll see I've done several messages on this subject, even longer ones. And so I just wanted to put this one out there for this week and, kind of tackle that stronghold. Hell is not eternal burning. Hell is the grave, and hell is a low state of being. With that, I say shalom.